Red Dread Entertainment, what is up? It's time for the Force to awaken into Honest Trailers, The Last Jedi. I tried to put that all together and just make it happen here. You know, it's funny, I kind of forgot about Honest Trailers doing one, and I'm very worried about this, but damn, it's about that time. I'm actually really thinking, you know, some people will hate me for it, but what do I care? I'm actually thinking about getting Star Wars The Last Jedi on 4K. I just got a Ultra 4K player and such. But it was reviewed, a lot of people said it wasn't that big of a jump for 4K. So I might pass on it, but you know, when I see the trailer for it, when you go into, you know, when they have the TVs on display and everything, they're using The Last Jedi, and that trailer just really gets you ready for it. So, let's see how Honest Trailers fucks it all up, okay? Here we go.
In a polarized world, the next installment of the franchise, all about balance and non-attachment, will be worshipped, hated, and obsessed over until it's not even fun to talk about anymore.
That's true.
This is not going to go the way you think. We know Star Wars fans by now.
Yeah, exactly.
Star Wars, The Last Jedi. Forget the love letter to the originals that was The Force Awakens, because Episode 8 subverts everything you've come to expect, making it the worst one ever. Aw, who invited the original Honest Trailer voice back? Are we really gonna do the old ones are better / new ones are better thing we did with The Force Awakens?
The only way to talk about Star Wars now is in absolutes, so yes.
Kinda Scythia, but fine. Making Last Jedi a refreshing update to a predictable formula.
Thank you.
Spits in the face of everything you once loved.
Whiner,
Traitor.
meet the new class of heroes coming into their own, like Rey, who after being called by Luke's lightsaber, is called by the Jedi text, called by a big wet hole, and called by her greatest frenemy.
Yet still gets zero answers to any of her questions.
I thought I'd find out.
That's fair.
I was wrong.
Poe, who grows from a hotshot sexy pilot
To a treasonous failure with more blood on his hands than the Empire.
First Order,
Same difference.
and Finn, who went from a deserter running away from the war
To a deserter running away from the war.
Yeah.
With the help of newcomer Rose, he'll learn to put the greater good above himself.
Thanks to a pointless side quest to Casino Royale.
Because how dare they spend 15 minutes connecting the action to a larger theme?
The larger theme being, is it possible to miss pod racing? I didn't think so, but here we
But forget from her fanboys who are just mad the movie isn't closer to the one they wrote in their heads.
Yep.
Hey,
Because they're still all the old favorites like Leia, a battle-hardened general trying to keep the spark of hope alive.
and she's in a coma.
Chewbacca,
Who gets nothing to do.
and Luke Skywalker.
Who after sad old Han and sad old Leia really drives home how your heroes are all sad and old now.
He's turned his back on the franchise after watching the prequels.
Legacy of the Jedi is failure.
And not even reruns of A New Hope can change his mind.
It was a cheap move.
Because what Star Wars fans really needed was to see their idol throw his lightsaber away like it was some kind of joke. And Star Wars is not a joke to me.
Yeah, I've been meaning to talk to you about...
Ryan Johnson ruined my childhood like he ruined the laws of space battle.
There are no laws to space battle.
There should be.
Luke isn't the only Skywalker who has issues with the franchise. Kylo Ren is back, and he's demanding a full reboot.
Let the past die. Kill it, if you have to.
When he doesn't look like he's about to cry, which is always.
That was the best part, though. It worked well for timid little boy.
Watch as he ditches the Vader fanboy act, the Mighty Duck mask, and his shirt.
Ooh, hey, you distracted me on purpose.
Too late, moving on. Get ready for truly unexpected answers to the puzzles of Episode 7.
That can only be answered by asking, what are the most disappointing answers to the puzzles of Episode 7?
Like who are Rey's parents?
Nobody.
Who is Snoke?
Some dead guy.
And how did Maz Kanata get Luke's lightsaber?
It doesn't matter, and you're stupid for asking.
That after all the hours of speculation and analysis was genuinely exhilarating. Whoa. How do we keep from a certain point of viewing each other?
Yeah, we're both pretty big Star Wars nerds.
Yeah.
So gear up for the most divisive Star Wars film ever made.
Where Rian Johnson either doesn't understand the lore,
Or he made the first Star Wars movie that lives up to the values it preaches, instead of endorsing royal bloodlines and reckless aggression.
okay, enough division. Let's say our favorite things about it on the count of 3.
1, 2, 3. Ready,
Kylo,
Kylo,
team
team
up
up to fight the patrolling guard. Oh, but Yoda hitting Luke with a stick. Porgs. Wait, really?
Yeah, I'll own it. Okay, now, least favorite.
Although not telling anyone her plan.
I get now can go down a peg, but come on. They're taking shuttles to a fort. Why make everyone think they're gonna die?
I can't argue with that, though I'm sure people will.
Should we do this again for Solo?
Nah.
I'm not gonna see that crap.
Sorry.
Half the Star Wars fan base.
So,
Blu-ray.
Luke Teat Milker.
Carrie Poppins.
Finn the Human.
I've been kissed by a rose on the brain.
Kai so serious.
Snope.
Give me the Karkin Keys, your Karkin nerf herder.
Short round.
Pew.
Brianna Darth.
Hucks to be you.
And redemption for Star Wars Kid.
doesn't age so well.
Wars, the last one you'll pay to see.
Until the next one comes out.
Except
Maybe.
Solo, yeah.
It is time for my fandom to end.
Did you hear JJ finish the script for episode 9?
My fandom is
It's back. Yeah.
Temporarily.
Want more Star Wars stuff? Click the box on the left.
damn,
We dive deeper
man.
into more serious questions for the Last Jedi.
Oh. Oh. What can I say? You know what? The main point is that I thought was the fact that the thing they hit the most importantly was the fact that there becomes such a division among fans that it's not even fun to talk about a movie anymore. And I think that's really true. Like, and I thought about this, like, and I think it goes on the side of if you don't actually like a movie. I mean, if you like a movie. If you don't like a movie, people talking shit about the movie, or critiquing it or whatever, it's just gonna reinforce things. They'll be like, yeah, see, I told you people don't really like it. Fucking Marvel turds paid off Rotten Tomatoes, right? But if you actually like the movie, it kind of sucks, and then gradually it makes people not like it. So, for example, Justice League is actually a good one. I went in, and coming out of Justice League, I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was great, but I didn't hate it like everybody else hated it, like that, right? And I think here's the big thing is, I think what a lot of fans, hardcore fans, have to realize is that after, like, it's okay not to like something, but if you venomously put down someone who actually likes it, you're actually hurting that product in the long run. So, you know, they always say how Star Wars fans are the worst fans because they're the most dedicated but the most crazy about it. So you're actually hurting the chances for the franchise to expand and to get bigger and better. And going back to the Justice League situation, you as a fan may not like what they did with Justice League, but it's also killing any chance for there to even be another Justice League in the future. For those that actually enjoyed the movie enough that, you know, so what I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, I know a bad product shouldn't be rewarded, right? A bad product like BVS, right? Okay, it starts to get complicated because it starts to get complicated with that situation. But okay, that's something that I'm kind of talking about. I guess you guys see the point I'm trying to make. I was gonna say Amazing Spider-Man 2. I actually liked Amazing Spider-Man 2. I actually enjoyed that movie. But then people really were coming in and saying this was the worst movie out of all of them. And, you know, it ended up never coming back from that. I mean, Granted, we ended up getting Spider-Man and Homecoming, but I do think there was the specialness of Spider-Man kind of got lost within the MCU. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but him debuting in Civil War does that. He becomes a little less important instead of having his own like universe, kind of his own focus, right? So, I don't think we're ever going to get that for a long time in the MCU. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it is definitely different. The main one I was going to say was The Last Jedi, or even Age of Ultron, actually. It's really weird because I had no idea that people did not like Age of Ultron until months and months down the line. Like going online and seeing, I was like, wait, people didn't like this? Weird, it's making a lot of money. And out here in Japan, people like, I just mentioned this on Twitter last night. I met this girl and she follows the MCU closely. She loves the MCU and her favorite movie is Age of Ultron. And I was like, I can understand that, but it's so weird. And I told her, I was like, well, in America, at least in America, the general consensus is that that's actually one of the worst movies. She's like, huh? I'm like, I don't know. I don't get it. So it's very interesting how Honest Trailers made a very good point, is that gradually down the line, it's not even fun to like talk about. I still think Thor 2 is definitely one of my better MCU movies. I think Iron Man 3 is actually one of the worst for me, personally for me. But actually talking about it, and people are like, what the fuck are you talking about? Same thing with Suicide Squad. I don't think it's the best movie, but I was entertained. I was thoroughly entertained. So, but gradually as time goes by, you just don't want to even talk about it, associate, and that's how I feel about Justice League. Dante ended up, I don't know, he bought it on Blu-ray and 4K Blu-ray, and respect to him for doing that. Respect to him for doing that. I wouldn't buy the movie, but at this point, I'm so tired of talking about this movie because all the fun has been taken out of it, and I feel like people don't, because it wasn't the mythical Snyder cut, which would have still done horrible in the theaters, because if BVS wasn't great, then come on, look at the track record here. Snyder wasn't saving shit there. But my point is, because it wasn't what they wanted, very similar to to The Last Jedi, it wasn't what they wanted. Apparently this one really, really sucks. Now, I'm not saying Justice League was great, but I do think that we got the cut that was probably going to be the best way. It was a Hail Mary of trying to fix that shit. And I guess my main point is the fact that, there's even a fan version that's come out, and just like Star Wars, somebody literally came out and fucking cut all the women out of The Last Jedi to make the Ultimate Fan Edition. That's fucking ridiculous. And somebody went out and they made a more Justice League fan cut that's out there. Dante watched it. He loved it. So I don't know. I'm a little mixed because I can see it on both sides. Personally, I would have liked to have seen a proper Batman. My type of Batman in the DCEU or whatever, but I'm not gonna straight destroy everything. I don't know. I know it's getting confusing, and what I'm saying is getting confusing as well, but I hope you can understand some of my point here about the fandom, how they get so vicious about this. Even the prequels, just because a bunch of people said they hated it, look, this franchise is still around. They're still doing shit. I personally don't find the prequels that interesting at all, except for the third one and the Darth Maul fights. But yeah, I don't know. I guess if there's anything to take away from all of this, guys, is just try to be a better fan. And I've made 2 or 3 videos about this before. Be a better fan. Go search them up. There's some good stuff. Be a better fan, because remember, the product you're so giddy about reflects. You represent, you're an ambassador to the product you love so much, okay? So for you to insult someone or cuss someone out just because they like a different iteration of what you want, what you like, ultimately it makes you look like an asshole, and thus makes people why would I even want to get into this product if this is the type of fandom it draws? You know what I mean? Just keep that in mind, okay? Maybe I will watch The Last Jedi, or at least my girlfriend loved the movie. I loved this one. The Last Jedi for me, it brought me to tears. It was so emotionally involving, and I loved it. So I feel sorry for those who did not enjoy this movie. All right, take care of yourselves, guys, and I'm out. Peace.